I quote, "Frankly, having a dub come out this good in the end is a little frustrating. Anyone who watched this show as a kid and has fond memories of it and revisits the dub will think, wow, it's just as good as I remembered. No, it isn't. We made it good. This show sucked." What a rabbit hole I went down today that I kind of wish I never went down. Probably easily the most career-ending post has ever been made was made yesterday. And within 24 hours, literally everybody involved in the project has pretty much blacklisted this individual. Yes, for those who don't know, Lovely Complex got a new dub, and the dub was wrote by two individuals and directed by two individuals. And one of those individuals was a subcontractor that decided to air out all their issues with the dub for all to see before promptly deleting it and getting roasted by the entire internet. It's one of those sad things. This is honestly a prime example of the boogeyman. Let's just put it that way. There's this constant back and forth between dubs and sub-purists and anti-localizers and localizers and supporters of localizers. This constant back and forth that whenever something comes up with a localizer that says something stupid, I've made it. I made a video here recently about a certain statement made at a con that was pretty much the thing that nobody says, the thing that you're not supposed to say, that hatred for the fandom and the things that they love to change in the anime and the manga and light novels that we love so much before it is given to us. The changing of jokes, the inserting agendas, those kind of things. The things that frustrate us. And yes, I have to get the usual disclaimer out there. I understand that this is not every localizer. I understand there's voice actors and localizers that love anime. But this post is literally an embodiment of everything that frustrates people that are concerned about localizing and what they're doing to these products as they come over. For those who don't know, this post was made by an individual known as Jello Apocalypse. He was the one that was actually involved with the writing of the dub for Lovely Complex. I argue it seems like there's evidence that they were involved with more than that. But very quickly, we had Sound Cadence Studio came out and said, yes, this was a subcontractor. They don't speak for us. We made sure that the Japanese licensor and everybody involved vetted it out and approved these before we actually did the dub. I will have an argument against that here soon. I don't think that is true, but I'll get into that in a minute. We also had, of course, Discotek themselves come out and say, yeah, this was a subcontractor. We have broken all ties with them. It is unfortunate. If you want a true to translation, make sure to watch the sub. Again, I will have an argument about that. I don't think that is completely true. I think they had an involvement with the sub as well, but that's just evidence that I've kind of compiled. But let's get into it. What is this post? What is this post that they made? Again, it was placed on their Patreon account. It looks like they have quite a few Patreon supporters, so I guess they don't care. They're going to probably get blacklisted because it seems like they have plenty of support for whatever project they're doing. I went to the archive.org, got the post itself. I even checked the links in there to make sure it was their actual Patreon account to make sure this wasn't just a spoof somebody made. Because I will admit, this post is so comically evil that there was a side of me that wondered if this was even a real post. It's that bad. But yes, it says, Marissa and I wrote an anime dub, the LoveCom dub compilation video. Here is a compilation of all my favorite moments of the English dub of Lovely Complex, script written by Marissa, Linty, and myself, with both of us directing the actors as well. Key thing there, they were involved with the directing of the actual voicing. So, even beyond it being approved, the scripts themselves, they were involved to the very end. That's important. Now, yes, I looked at the video itself. They have a bunch of little dub clips, and there's one particular dub clip in there that I'll bring up in a minute. It's not great. The dub is not great, but is what it is. They go on to explain what LoveCom is, or Lovely Complex is, talking about how it's a romantic comedy from 2007 about a tall girl and a short boy. At this point, are already kind of taking shots at it, saying it's a stupid story, it's a stupid plot, blah, 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 already showing that malice for what they're working with. Even though it came out nearly 2 decades ago, LoveCom did not have a dub until Sound Cadence CEO Amber Lee Connors grabbed the rights to the dub from Discotek because it was an old favorite of hers. Discotek did not want to order a dub because the dubs are typically very expensive. So, Sound Cadence endeavored to make the dub while spending as little money as possible. This production was almost entirely asking people to cash in favors. The leads both played their part for free, and Marissa was set to write and direct the adaptation, also for free. 'Twas an endeavor of LoveCom. Right here, we're already kind of establishing that this is completely done free. Now, that's great. People doing this out of their own love for the project is great. It shows that passion. But what I firmly believe is that when you ask people to do things for free, they cut corners. They do things for their own benefit, and they typically don't do an entirely good job when they don't have an investment in the product. This is great for Amber Lee Connors. Amber Lee Connors obviously loves this product. The problem is, the people involved with the scripts itself don't. And when you're doing it for free, and you don't like what you're working on, that's when things go bad. He goes on to talk about how the production went very badly. They had a lot of problems, a lot of difficulties, a lot of changes, a lot of sound changes, whatnot. It was a difficult project. Obviously, it was done for free. People aren't going to put a priority on it. Here's where the fur starts to fly. This is where we start to get that showing of colors. My involvement started when Marissa told me that she was annoyed about having to localize the scripts for this show because she just got done watching the show and didn't really like its characters. I thought this would be a good opportunity to get some experience writing localization scripts in case I ever wanted to write a dub. So I volunteered to help. The two of us spent many, many hours across many, many days slogging through LoveCom's episodes. And while Marissa thought that she sort of hated LoveCom's original writing, I came to the conclusion that I definitely hated Love Complex. Stop. Stop right there. Walk away. If you hate it and you're working on it, you're going to do a bad job. Especially, again, as we kind of alluded to here, you're not getting paid. Step away from it. You're going to destroy it. Continuing. Okay, so it is quite unprofessional to openly talk a property that you've worked on in the industry. Linty cannot express any opinions as they have an official relationship with Sound Cadence Studio, Discotek, and Toei Animation. I, however, was a freelance contractor and do not have any of those things. I am not speaking for Linty anywhere in this post. Who can say what Linty thinks? I sure don't. Regretting that now? This is one of those moments where, are you regretting that now? I hope you regret that now. Again, based on their Patreon, looks like they're doing just fine, but are you regretting that now? This is one of those, this was in the draft, and you probably shouldn't hit the post. Just leave it in the drafts. Never touch. No, just delete it from the draft so you don't accidentally hit that button. But I will tell you what I think, and I think LoveCom is a bad show about Risa Koizumi. And I'm guessing they meant an actual. So there you go. Apparently you're talking about a psychopath and you can't even... Anyways, an actual psychopath, an all-over useless freak. Yeah, already starting to show those colors. They go on to talk about how much they hate the story, they hate the adaptation, they hate the they like the live action apparently. They think that the manga was terrible, the stuff they cut from the manga was horrible. They just apparently overall just absolutely hate the manga. They didn't go into the fact that there is a trans character in the show, the story itself, and how there's a lot of jokes against the trans character. They didn't like that, so they had to change it. I like to give Marissa insane props for doing absolutely everything they could to handle this element of the production respectfully. The Psycho, which Psycho is the trans character. The Psycho introductory episode is about Psycho's gender identity. So it's not like we could write it out entirely. But we changed a lot of things to take the edge off. So they're changing the story completely. I'm going to get more into this in a minute. Nobukoto's initial dislike of Psycho was changed from, I don't know, I don't like her, my trans radar is going off, quote unquote, to being jealous about another girl on the campus and not wanting to lose out on the freshmen. Okay, stopping here. Let's go back to the statements made by Sound Cadence Studio. Sound Cadence Studio said they had this approved, it was sent off to licensors, they changed things, they vetted it out before the parties began recording. So they're saying that they fixed everything they needed to fix before they got to the recording session. Even Discotek themselves said the same exact thing. They checked everything, the approvals happened, none of these things was changed too much, all that kind of stuff. So they're basically acting as if, you know, nothing bad got through. I would argue that the Japanese owners of the property aren't going to know half of what's coming through their table. They're going to get this stuff. They're not going to be able to translate it properly to understand what's changed. This is the difficulty in localization, is that even when it's brought over here and they translate it, they write the scripts, and they send it back to Japan for approval, Japan's not going to understand in a lot of cases what was changed and what they're changing it to actually mean. Not to say that Japan doesn't know English, not to say they don't have people that can translate over there. I'm not saying that Japan's like, what's this thing? I don't understand. We have a fax machine. I'm not of that mindset. I know that a lot of people get stuck in that mindset that Japan's like behind times and they don't understand technology and whatever. They're like your grandpa. It's more of an aspect that they're not going to get the intent of what's changed. They'll approve it, but they're not going to get the intent of what was changed. How I know that they were involved with the whole project and what they changed actually went through the end is because the post itself has clips from the dub. And in those clips from the dub, this specific change right here of it changing from my radar has gone off is in those clips. It says, oh, she's cute. They changed it to what they wanted to. So whatever they changed here in the script and everything got through approvals, was directed, and printed on that dub. Anyways, moving on. So yes, they go on to pat themselves on the back for how many people they got from the trans and non-binary actors. They just wanted to make sure that you all know how great they are and pat themselves on the back for all the stuff they did. Here's where I start to get really angry reading this. Despite everything about the original incarnation of this anime, this dub turned out just so funny. God, this is so narcissistic. I can't, it's gonna be so hard to read. This is so narcissistic. This is like whenever people ask me, hey, why don't you make a hypercut of the year, like all of your best moments of the year to post? I'm like, I just feel so narcissistic doing that. Like, it's like you're asking me to find what I think I did that was funny and say that this is my best moments. It's so like self-patting on the back. We really funneled our frustrations into comedy and wrote a lot of good jokes while also improving as much of the relationship between the leads as possible. This is the part that me personally, I get really angry about. There are a lot of scenes where Risa yells at Otani, and a lot of scenes where Otani reacts to Risa by inappropriately laughing at her. Many of you probably already know this about me, but I'm a romantic and love writing actual good romance TM because nobody else on the earth seems to know how to do it. God, this guy's in love with himself. What a stupid narcissistic statement. This person is God's gift to mankind, apparently. Get your notebooks out here, people. Improving the relationship between the leads in LoveCom took surgical precision, and I still wouldn't call it a healthy relationship, but I did my absolute best to make sure Risa and Otani had made enough positive characteristics that them falling for each other made some kind of sense. I think we especially improved Otani. He starts kind of annoying, but in the end of the series, I think I would call him genuinely pretty cute. Risa's unsalvageable, though. This annoys the hell out of me. Frankly, having the dub come out as good as it is in the end is a little frustrating. Anyone who watched this show as a kid, has fond memories of it, revisits the dub will think, wow, it's just as good as I remembered. No, it isn't. We made it good. This show sucked. The amount of rough edges we shaved off this are entirely invisible. Unless you buy the Blu-ray and turn on the dub and keep the subtitles on, it allows you to listen to our edits in real time. This whole segment right here, like I said, is Narcissism 101. This person is so in love with themselves that they desire to change this story. And this gets into kind of what I was thinking about with the whole thing about the trans stuff. And this as well. This is the stuff I hate the most. Put aside putting a no-cap joke in a story. Put aside the whole, that's actually more of an issue as well, the whole patriarchy thing with Maid Dragon. The thing I hate the most is where the writer themselves feel that they can do a better job than the original creator. So over here, you have the mangaka writes a story, and everybody loves that story. It's beloved. enough that it gets an anime adaptation. The anime adaptation happens. A bunch of people get involved. They produce this anime. They put all these people, they get working to voicing, the sound, all that kind of stuff. They do all that stuff. They put this project together, and people love it. It comes over the West, gets a subtitle. People love it. It becomes a property that people love. And now it's given to these two individuals that openly despise the project, hate it. Hate it. They don't like it. And according to Jello Apocalypse, they literally are saying, I'm a better romance writer and I'm going to change this so that it makes sense. I'm going to make this character canonically a psychopath that doesn't understand empathy. And I'm going to make this other character essentially in a cycle of abuse without realizing it. I'm going to change what the story is because it makes better sense to me. That's disgusting. That is disgusting that you're going to take somebody else's story and destroy it this way. This is deplorable. And it should not have happened. Absolutely should not have happened. This person should never. And I think Marissa, despite the fact that they didn't make comments, sorry, Marissa, they made it for you. They literally said, we both hated this and we did all this stuff to change it. That's what's disgusting here. And these two should never work in this industry again because not only do they change something in with malice. This malicious intent to destroy something and make it what they want it to be. They literally, it's like they're transporting a Mona Lisa to the library and they say, you know what? That looks dumb. We should change that. I'm better at painting. Let's change it. All right, put it up on the wall. That's disgusting. And to the point of the whole thing about the trans stuff. This has been like something on my back for a while now, and I don't think I've ever actually voiced it anywhere. Localizers. If you're given a project like this, and it has stuff in it that's offensive to you, don't work on the project. These two individuals, or at least with Jello Apocalypse, whatever their name is, they don't like the idea that there's these jokes around these characters. If the time frame this would be considered what people call a trap character. And putting aside the negative connotations from that and whatnot, that is what the character is. It is the concept there of a character that is dressing up all pretty. Now, I have not watched Lovely Complex. It could be a character that is wanting to be that. That's fine. It could be a character that's trying to just be pretty. I don't know. The point is that there is this story. Let's put that all aside. Whatever it is, it's fine. What we're pointing out here is that in this story, this character makes a negative connotation to the character. They literally say, my trans radar is going off. If you read that and this offends you, that's fine. But that's what they wrote. That's what the writer wrote. Walk away from the project. I personally don't understand this. Like, if somebody presented me, hey, I get an email. I get emails all the time with companies wanting to work with me. And they'll give me a project and they'll say, hey, we want to do this. If in that email, that project offends me personally, like say it's something there about beliefs or politics or about my family, something that offends me personally. There's very few things that offend me personally, honestly. Even me doing this video, I don't really care. If it offends me, I'm not going to do the project because you know why? By doing the project, I'm supporting the thing that offends me. If you get this project and you go, man, it's very negative against trans people, don't do the project. Changing it and sanitizing it doesn't change that you're supporting the project that you don't like. You're giving Lovely Complex attention. You're giving the manga attention. You are presenting that to people, and they can turn on the subtitles and see it as well. You are support. If these people are so dedicated, don't do the project. But you know what? They still did the project. They still get paid. They're pushing Blu-rays in this post. They're saying buy the Blu-ray. Why? Because they're probably going to get a cut from it. They're making profit off of something they claim is offensive. Get over yourself. Moving on. And this is the thing that I hate the most, because somebody has brought this up. I've seen it on Twitter. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it is kind of telling that here recently we had, unfortunately, a shoujo mangaka ended their own life. It seems as if they have ended their own life. I don't know if they've 100% confirmed it, but that's what they were reporting as. And there's a lot of speculation that it was because of a live action adaptation they apologized for that upset people. Keep that in mind. This is one of those series that was written by a very strange person. Kind of like 50 Shades of Grey. And it just gets stranger and stranger the longer you look at it. The way all the characters talk and interact is wrong. The way Risa is painted a good guy, despite makes exclusively bad decisions, makes this is so weirdly written. This person wrote the script. Everything feel like it's written by a woman with "I hate drama" in her Twitter bio, and then 5 separate call-out tweets right below it. You get the sense that the author sees the world the same way Risa Koizumi does. And Risa Koizumi as a character only makes sense if she's a psychopath who does not understand human empathy. So basically they're saying the mangaka is a psychopath that doesn't understand empathy. So now we're going on to bullying the mangaka. Of note, the mangaka also makes a cameo in the final episode of the anime. She shows up as a fashion designer, and everyone praises how pretty and talented she is. She then tells Risa, "It's my job to make you look good." I think you failed, ma'am. Linty was a head writer on this, and all their decisions were final. But I did tell them that if we didn't cut the characters praising the mangaka out of the episode in our dub, I would quit the co-writing position on the spot. This post is disgusting. Narcissism. Better than thou. Grandstanding. This writer is disgusting and I can do it better. I will clean it and sanitize it so that it fits my sensitivities. I don't want inappropriate jokes in there that I don't agree with. And additionally, I'm going to continue to berate the mangaka and tell them how they are a psychopath and that the lead writer has to remove a line the character says at the very end in response to the character. I hope Marissa and Jello Apocalypse never works in the industry ever again, or ever touches somebody else's property ever again. Like I mentioned earlier, and it's a joke, but it's technically true, this is the boogeyman. This is exactly what everybody is not liking about localization. And yes, I understand this isn't everybody, but this is the person saying the thing that is unspoken. This is the thing, it's so funny. I see posts elsewhere where people are saying, I hate that this post is going to give anti-localizers ammunition for the next 5 years. What they should be saying is this is exactly what we don't want in the industry. This is not us. Do not look at this. This is horrible. But some of them are posting almost in a way of saying, that's the thing you're not supposed to say. And that's concerning. People literally saying this would have not bothered anybody if it weren't for the fact that it was too much. And it's sad because I don't think that there would have been a statement from Sound Cadence Studio or Discotek if it weren't for the fact about how negative and nasty this post was. Specifically, this post was this person alongside another individual insulting the original creators. Because this is a move, this post could possibly affect Discotek from ever being able to communicate with a lot of these companies in Japan. This post is full of defamation to the original creator, the original studio, the original producers, the original publishers of this property. And for a company like Discotek, that is devastating. But anyhow, I'm lost for words, but that is how to end your career in 24 hours. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below, comment. Let me know what you think of this whole situation. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button, skip my content, I do news reviews, first impressions, top lists. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Just going to support the channel more. I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, membership button down below. Greatly appreciate what it does. Y'all take care.